Trump in the garden, as Cardi B mentions that dark energy, and Trump is that beekeeper, and that Mary and John hit the markets today too with the cannabis. So that's part of the John and the honey and the locust and those wild times breaking open, and these things that we've gotten to in the past. But the dark sun, and then that Joe Rogan had Elon Musk smoking the weed on his show, and then that T. Rogan, that Trojan horse, all those little things setting up in little flip-flop patterns for your little sands of time. But let's get into this, because the Nyx ties into the NYX, which ties into the void and ties into your beginning in Genesis 1. We've gotten into this thing before. And the Nyx is the next, and that's part of the Newsom and the hanging and all that stuff. And we got the shooting in Midland, Texas today. The 1 dead and 10 hurting. That's the 11 crowning, the 47, which is Trump on the addings. So the Newsom is talking to the Hunter Biden at the same time. The acrylic glass factory, the MMA, the methylene, whatever it was mentioned, and the coming explosion, the evacuations, as far as those 4 things going on at one time in LA. Before the Washington explosion, and then the rocket explosion, all these things happening, boom, 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 as it tells one story. And that abomination is coming, as the Obamination has already happened, and the dark sun on that Jumbotron with Obama showing the double lights and stuff is connecting 2 worlds and those types of things. And then Trump shown on the Jumbotron. The Tron is tied to your Justin sun, and the dark sun coming, and the T-Rex, and those things for your Ice Age on different levels. So as the Knicks is being shown, and the Spurs, and that's the horse rider. And then you I saw the the horseplay for the 2 guns and shit going off in California with the officers. So that's taking place. So the Gavin Newsom, and then the bee sting with Matthew McConaughey, that was shown a couple years ago before the Butler thing. We'll put all those things together as far as them finding the shooters and stuff, the shooters, the hooters, the omens, and the craps, the craptures, all that for the assassins for that man of sin, all that, whatever. We connected the man of sin to the moon shot with the Obama, the moon shot with Biden, the moon shot with Hunter Biden, the moonshot with now Gavin Newsom, as he seems to be the one lining up for this Butler and Baker session, and the Tim Walz stuff that Gavin Newsom is connected to times 20 or whatever. But Gavin Newsom would be Tim Walz on like mass scale. Okay, so the Trump with the Cobra Kai, the Kai Trump. This is the UK rain kick, and the UK rain, Ukraine, and all those things. And that's tying into your Williams and your Sussex, and for your SpaceX and those things. So the Iran and the critical race, and the grapes of wrath, and all that would be all kind of boom, 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 boom. And we're kind of can be here this month, week, and a day, playing out in different levels as we're going into that main event. And then the UFC is playing on one level, and then you have the 250 crowning during the 249/11th month of that cycle on America. So that's 249/11. And then we're going into the 9th year, 11th month of Trump on 12/25 or 12/26 or whatever. But I'll do that post showing all those little flips on that, because I've mentioned the 29/11 before in the past, and we have the 29/11 as far as the eclipse, and the dawn, the 45/47, the Abaddon, and all that stuff playing out. And then you have boom, 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 as far as these clocks that we've been learning, and as far as the physical clock, the man clock, the world clock, all these little different clocks we've been learning. Okay, so either way, longer you've been following along, the more it makes sense. Otherwise, it's going to sound like some crazy shit, and you're going to you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I was like, okay, well, mind your own business. So the Midland, that mid deals, and then the changing of the decks and counting the cards, just going the blackjack, the one-eyed jack, the 21 deck, looking for the 22s, 20 to 26. We got the 22s 21's for the anniversary, 21's for the barren womb, all coming up. So this is where we've been learning the cards and counting the cards and figuring out the loaded decks and all those types of things for that little magic show and the magi show for the shepherds. And as the shepherds come in who saw the stars, boom, 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 they see the stars, boom, 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 and it goes boom, boom. Okay, so we've seen these things that are as an image of dim life. This is where one is actually being propped up to create the real out of the real that was there. So these are amazing times, folks. So the SWAT is being shown, and the SWAT tying into the flies and the bee stings and whatever. I mentioned a couple weeks back, the bees coming to life at the UFC, and then since then I've been watching and tracking these waters about these bee stings, and there's how you have the Cardi B coming into the garden, and the MSG, that's that monosodium glutamate, that's Sodom and Gomorrah and those things, and for that grievous sin. And then the enchantment, that's the deceiver and the serpent and all that stuff going into the garden. So that's where it's transforming, and then you have the Nyx without form and void, and then you have it turning into the Elon, the Elohim, and those types of things for the baby Elon, for the Babylon, and the Bible on your hands. The Elon. Either way, it goes on and on, folks, because everything is built on these days. Okay, it's that simple. They've taken away your critical thinking skills as they have reported on your national news. Okay, so we might just have to take it easy on some of you. So that screw worm, they mentioned the crowd strike going into all the old windows and that kind of thing. That's part of those worms all coming in, and then the worms that you had, that biogenesis, self-replicating venom you took with this and whatever else, and now you got that can of candida worms probably just like gonna separate and come all out at once. You're just gonna have to pull that big old baby out. Grab it, grab it. Either way, so this Midland and the red lights on the face, on the glass and whatever else, they could be doing a little transfer point, because what seems to be happening is they might be doing a little crutch effect or homemade gun, 3D printed gun, whatever kind of thing, right? Or the lip seal and whatever hygienics, or okay. So there's that poison dart frog and whatever else. It doesn't fucking matter. So it just matters that they take these people out in some way, shape, or form, and they go missing, and then they come back or don't come back, and you just got a whole new fucking script or whatever. But we all know this is coming anyways with that thing everybody took and that thing. So that's when all your stars and shit go out, and you just got to get new shit and whatever. You don't have any choice but to listen to the people who fucking knew what was coming, right? So it's just kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Either way, you deny the power of God, therefore the power of God is coming upon you. Hallelujah. As you're taken into the second hell, and the second hell is tied to where that dark light that you've believed and let control yourself and merge with the machine and merge with this symbiotic venom system and the serpents and all this stuff rising. Well, that's when it you come eye to eye with it, and you go into your hell to hell, and they start ruling you with that leash, with the dragon and the woman coming in, as these things are told within you. But it's also there where you can take it and look at it on the world stage and see it happening there too. But now it's happening in such a way where the whole world is going from one to another. That's where you have the Elon Musk here, and you've already had that space needle, and the needle's already been put in, and now they're telling you about the space and what just fucking happened to you. So this is the time such as was not. You're actually seeing when and how man was created, or so-called destroyed, as you're being turned back into the monkeys. Okay, and they do that by making you believe in that space monkey, that cartoon space monkey shit. So that's a whole nother story. So as you're landing on Mars and the gas mask comes off, the sun rays start hitting you with the SPFs and shit. That's tied into that SPCX and shit on another level. But you basically landed on a planet way back when. Oh, the sun's bad for you. Well, since when? It's been given line for 2,000, 5,000, however many billion fucking years you choose to believe. Okay? So then all of a sudden, oh shit, we're not here. We're not on Earth. Or okay, so man, it's right there in front of you. If you can't see it, you're fucking retard. All right? And that's me being nice. So I'm sorry the word retarded has become offensive. Well, your little Humpty Dumpty Trumpy's gonna fall off the wall and break them little eggs that are left to hatch out that little serpent and dragon and shit. And it's gonna get your horse rider running. How do you make the horse drink? Well, you make it fucking run. And that's what this year's for, is getting your horse warm. Your horse is right now like in the horse here. And then next year, this is gonna be fucking let loose in the wilds. And if you ever gone horseback riding, some of them like to run back to the barn and shit or whatever, right? They don't listen. They just take off. And if you ever ridden a horse 1 or 2 times, all right, that's all you need. One of the scariest shit, them just taking off running and you don't have a fucking clue how to stop them or anything. Okay, that's when you like, as a man, you shit your pants. Okay, but happened as a child. I don't need to know about it as an adult. Either way, the Chuck Berry and the Elvis Presley, getting that dragon out. Either way, that's all coming. The Presley, the Elvis, the Bruce, coming together to transform America as the image has been given off in that marital martial arts and such. Has that UFC and the CFU, CFU, and all that stuff comes in for full frontal lobe tuning devices. And that's for your election, that chosen, and that man of sin, and all that shit shining as the Lord God reflects a light as the garden grows dark. And you're just like wondering what the hell's going on. Everything's being boiled out. We're in the Knicks. We're in the Jubilee. All being made, taken back to the big fat zero. Starting out as equals. And equals, we're not all equal. We're not all thinking the same shit. 80% of you aren't thinking at all. And when you are, you're just, oh shit, that goes against my foundations, my morals, which are imposed realities of some dipshit that didn't know anything about this day and age. Therefore, you're left behind. You haven't been raptured up because the Lord is just keeping you down. That's Satan. And that's the numbering of the man and the message of his way and these things that just tell you bring grief on your life. Grieve us, grieve us, grieve us, grieve us. That's why it tells you your Lord's killed in Sodom. And that's just one of the nations. So it tells you where he's killed, but he keeps living on all the other ones. Either way, folks, we've had that Space Needle, alien symbiotic venom shit pumped into the blood already. And then let food be thy medicine. Well, that sin is coming. That moonlight. And that moonlight and that cow is going to be giving birth for that red heifer. That red heifer. Well, I read your asshole can split in two when you shit this thing out. Yup, it sure can. We will see those bare bellies push out a deer. Or the little flip side on that bear. Alright, but either way, you're going to hop to it one way, shape, or form as those little bad bunnies start hopping out of your belly. And the hops is tied into your bear in case you didn't catch it. But either way, dude, everything is done. And you got your medical supplies burning up in California. It's going to take a few days to get rid of that. So that's your Trump RX, your TRX, all those things coming. The Dragon, the East, the China, the Justin Sun, all that shit's going. And the Empire of the Sun, Christian Bale ties into your Batman, all those little cross references. But Either way, we'll end it here, folks, because the alien symbiotics or whatever is just kind of cracking open, and who knows what the fucking nostril test is going to bring, the throat test, the asshole test, whatever. Okay, this thing that went on where when the corporate beast system shut down and said, hey, you got to take this to keep your job or you're going to get fired. Well, I worship the mark to buy and sell, so I got to do it. I got to keep my job. So all these things, little Johnson & Johnson, little Pfizer, little whatever, we'll see which one manifests in the tribals on communications for those data centers. The data center. The dad sent her over. So that's part of that hole in the ozone layer and the blockchain communities and grow rooms and the dark suns and all this other stuff in another level. But as that recreation and the medical weed and all these things are coming into some circumstances and circumstances, the we'll do another video on the cannabis shit, getting more into details on that.